Thanks, camera, for not working. Let's see if we can get it going. There we go. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chord Dave. This is Chord Dave live because this is live. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks so much for joining me. It's 10 p.m. Irish time. So we get together, we have a drink, we talk about beers and food and what else do we do? Guitars, I guess, and weather. So let's do all of those things and anything else you want to talk about. But before we do anything else, it's been a heck of a week, my friends. There's lots of guitar stuff. I believe there's a show or something going on, and we got lots of stuff to talk about. So let's all do it together for 2 hours or so. Why not? Let's just see how it goes. Anyway, sláinte to you, my friends. Yeah, just in case you weren't aware, we're drinking Guinness tonight. So yeah, just for a change. So here we go. We'll dig into the chat. Obviously, we did a live stream there on Thursday, first day in NAMM. And then yesterday we didn't bother because I know that I went to NAMM last year. I didn't pump out the content as much, but I'm a little bit NAMMed out right now, and I've been getting a lot of messages and questions and comments and stuff like that. I'm just like, whatever, man. There's so much. Actually, to be honest with you, I know there's been questions about why I wasn't going to NAMM and stuff like that for the last while. This would have been the worst week to go away for a week, or even a few days. Just the things going on. Just and all I can say is there's a family member who is in hospital this whole week and has. I've been up and down to Waterford, which is about an hour away or so, to visit and to bring people up and down to the hospital. So yeah, definitely. Even if I had planned to go to NAMM, I probably wouldn't have gone. But hopefully things are looking up from next week on. So all good. All good. Let's try and get on with everything else in the stream like we normally do. See how much we can get on. I have been watching some videos from NAMM though. A little bit jealous. A little bit jealous. I wish I was in the California sunshine, sipping beers and eating burgers. That's what they do there, right? And yeah, 2025 NAMM, if it's still a thing, I'll probably pop along and see how it is. Uh, yeah, I'm a little bit jealous of my YouTube brethren who are out there. Maybe we could get a party of people to go next year. That'd be fun. Anyways, Scott Bogfoot, as usual, was the number one person in the chat. So good to see you, Scott. Hope all's good with you, my friend. And Rob F. shortly afterwards followed him up. Great to see you, sir, as well. Formerly known as T was also here. Good to see you, T. Hope all's good with you, my friend. And little matter of a final with a roundy ball happening in about a month's time. So between you and I, or at least our teams, it's all good. We'll fall out that weekend, I think. Richard Clark is here. Great to see you, Richard. Hope all's good with you. Also, sir, great to see you in the chat as well. Formerly known as T says, who's going to throw in the 4-letter word? Is that the N word? The N 4-letter word? Hey everybody, hope everyone is doing well. It says Fister Roboto. Hope you're doing well, Fister, and all's good with you. Formerly known as T says, feck it. I'm going to say feck it just in case YouTube's watching. It might as well be me, NAMM. There you go. You had to be the one, didn't you, T? You had to be you. Yeah, I'm sure we'll catch up with all the NAMM stuff. Lots of interesting stuff coming out of there. Nothing groundbreaking, but some cool stuff at the same time. Fister Roboto says, what are everyone's thoughts on that Theodore coming to the USA lineup? It would be awesome if Epiphone came up with one, a proper one with P90s and a wraparound bridge. I wouldn't be surprised, sir, if that was next year, if that was a thing, because they're going to want to do try and sell as many of these Gibson USA standard ones, I would imagine. So if they brought out an Epiphone one that was cheaper, people would buy that. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's impossible. I'm perplexed by the changes to it. I'm like, why have you not just brought out the same thing? Like, okay, change the body. Don't have the walnut stripe or whatever in it. Just have like a solid mahogany body, but everything else should have been the same. I'm a little bit surprised they've gone with classic 57s and a Tune-o-matic bridge and taken away 2 controls. Maybe it'll be cool. Maybe they wanted it to not be like so comparable to an SG special. I don't know, but But yeah, I would imagine next year we might see an Epiphone one. If Gibson is still owned by Gibson or the KR KKR, whatever the hell it's called now. I would be. It'll be interesting to see. A little bit of a follow up on that, by the way. I did see 60 Cycle Hum mention it, that it was uh somebody on the initial podcast, was it the Tone Lounger, whatever. Apparently somebody on in that podcast said that they know somebody who is close to Gibson. And the 60 Cycle Hum were like, well, that's kind of the most vague thing you can say. But I understand it. You can't give your sources as somebody who tells people things he's not supposed to tell people from a leaky point of view. Sometimes somebody tells you something and it's like, don't say that I told you. And you have to be careful with it. So I think that's what it was in this case. I'd say it's probably genuine that the person said this. I don't think it's a genuine thing. I don't think Gibson has a for sale sign on it anymore. Uh, Having dug into it a bit more. So if anyone else, if you, I mean, feel free to ask questions, but I don't have much more information or anything really to say about it. Rob F says, though I don't think it's for me, I am glad to see Gibson continue to promote the tulip guitar. And yes, an Epi model would be awesome to see. Hey Rob, listen, I'm not a big fan of the tulip guitar, which as you so perfectly monikered it. But I love when people get their choice of guitar. I love that we have a situation right now where people uh, are getting these limited runs of things. Even something like those art collection Adam Jones guitars, they're absolutely not my thing. But some people, there's somebody out there. There's probably around 500 people out there in the world who are Adam Jones fans who play guitar, who are also Ernst Fuchs art fanatics, and or Julie Heffernan fanatics, or just dig the art look of each one of those guitars. And I think that's cool because it's something different and maybe something specific to them. There's also obviously 1,000 people out there who dig $1,000 pickups. So, so that's nice. Nice that they can get them too. We're living in a great time guitar wise, I think. So, so yeah, it's all cool. And even though they're not my thing, the tulip. However, I might be tempted to add one of the if they brought out an Epiphone and it's I haven't seen the full body shot or a full length full frontal of the USA Theodore, so I don't know what kind of headstock is on it. If it's the same headstock, and they brought that to Epiphone, I think it'd actually be very popular. If it's the standard Gibson headstock, I think people might recoil a little bit. I don't know. Tell me if you've seen a full frontal photo or of that guitar. I haven't. And I was less interested to ask questions about it, other than like the Slash one and the Dave Grohl. Those are the two people wanted to know more about. So those are the ones I was asking about. Fister Roboto says, and I'll have to watch the live stream later when I get home. I'm about to head out to a show. So cheers, everyone. Have a wonderful chat / evening. Well, Fister, I hope you had a great show and enjoyed the show. And when you're watching in the future, I hope you're having a good time. So thanks for joining us. Super cool. Rob F says, a rock and roll show, I hope. Indeed, all shows are rock and roll if you're brave enough. Although a friend of mine told me about a different type of show this morning and I'm disturbed. Rob F also says, I spent the last few hours playing my daughter's Pink Squire Sonic Strat. I'm really starting to love the maple fretboard. First I've played, and a single ceramic bridge humbucker really rocks. Very cool, Rob. Yeah, I remember you talking a lot about that coming up to the holidays. And yeah, it was very. It's cool that you're enjoying it. So that's awesome. Yeah, maple fretboards are something different. They're nice. They're nice. And roasted maple is my preferred maple variant. But very cool. Stuff indeed. Second year in a row, the Cream Guitars booth at NAMM was the best there, in my opinion. Cream guitars are very interesting. Very, very interesting. I got obviously up close and personal with them in April, and at the time, my thoughts were these are cool, but they're going to be very niche. Like, not everyone's going to want one of these. They're a little bit out there, but they're very cool. Um, so yeah, I like what they're doing. And if I'm correct, um, their plan is basically over the next 4 or 5 years to expand and do lots of different cool things. Like, they have a lot of innovative ideas. I like changing color guitars and stuff like that. So yeah, they were the big display that kind of stood out on the floor last year, which was a fun one to get to. You can't miss them with that black and pink display. Very cool. Indeed. Rob F says, I'm not familiar with Cream guitars. Googling them now. I think they're a Mexican company, but or maybe it's an Australian. I'm pretty sure it's a Mexican company. Very cool looking stuff. They're doing for some very interesting things. Scott Bogfoot says, cool stuff. I've been impressed by everything I've seen from them. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Rob F says, I think I saw one of those Cream guitars earlier today in KDH's video. I was practicing at the time, so KDH only got partial attention at the time. Yeah, KDH had a good video from NAMM today. I watched his day 2 vlog, and yeah, there was a bit there. So Cream actually brought basses. They didn't have basses last year. They brought basses to NAMM. KDH, like me, appeared to be not really interested in the basses, but was letting the dude talk about them anyway. The dude went to put a bass on the wall and it fell off. And he got it. Ninja skills, my friend. The guy who works in I think it was Luis, works for Cream. Very cool. Catch, like, top skills. He should get some sort of award, the NAMM award for greatest guitar catch of the year. It was a pretty sweet deal. But yeah, Cream guitars, look out for them. I think they're only starting to head to retail in Europe anyway. So, and they're not going to be available online. They said that last year they weren't going to be available online. You're going to have to go to their dealers to buy their guitars, um, because a lot of people prefer going to their local store rather than buying on the big boys online. KDH had an Ole guitar battle, or jam. He did, yeah, with what's his name, the guy from YouTube. That was fun. I saw that. I saw an Anderton video this morning with Dave Friedman. He had a prototype new vintage model based on a 19 or 196X Plexi 50-watt amp he owns. Very cool. Indeed, I haven't seen that one. I've seen a few NAMM videos, not all of them, but obviously not all of them because there's probably thousands. But I've seen a good few. People are having fun out there. It looks pretty cool. Let me see. Sadly, the Friedman vintage line is not in production yet. Plus, the models I would purchase in a heartbeat would be JTM 45 or a Bassman clone. Um, yeah, well, you never know what's around the corner. NAMM's not the only time things get announced, so hopefully something. And again, I'm not really the amp guy, so I don't know. I'll tell you about some guitar stuff, but I won't know anything about amps or when they're coming or anything. T says, did you see the Gibson Falcons have valve mounted on the PCB board? Sounds like they'll be adding a couple of amps to the vintage line. I didn't really pay that much attention to them, to be honest. Rob says, yes, T, I finally saw a good shot of the new Gibson amps. As feared, they have Mesa's extremely poor board design. Plus, there is zero excuse for the 12 Axe 7 preamp tubes inside the chassis. I won't be running out buying one. I think, yeah, this is why I was watching 60 Cycle Home, because they were going on about, or they were going through the Gibson amps, and yeah, I think they put it nicely. Is that, like, there's going to be a market for these, and if you're not in that market, it's because you probably or have gone beyond it. So, I don't know enough about amps to say it's good or bad. You guys are telling me it's not great, and I'm just going to go with that. So there's that. But yeah, I definitely think there'll be more Gibson amps, and different things will come from them, I think. So we'll see in the next year or so. I think there's going to be a lot of movement there. And Epiphone amps, I don't think are too far away either. Scott Bogwood says, every time I hear Falcon, I think of the SNL skits of the Falconer. I mean, that's always good, I suppose. Grandpa Joe's here. Great to see you, Grandpa Joe. Hope all's good with you, my friend. Says, wishing you all good evening and enjoyable show. I'm sneaky listening show with Bluetooth tonight. Well, happy sneaky listening, Grandpa Joe, and I hope you don't get caught out. But thanks for joining us. Always great to see you pop into the chat, sir. Scott Bogwood says, yes, Donald, that's why they're Falcon and I'm the Falconer. I don't know the skit, but I presume it was funny. I haven't watched SNL in years because it's not really readily available here. It being like Sunday morning I suppose when it's on. Ben Allmark's here. Great to see you, Ben. Says, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dave, hope You're doing well. I'm doing all right, Ben. Thanks very much. Anytime I get to wear my NAMM souvenir T-shirt, I'm very happy with life. Great to see you, sir. So, what else we got? Grandpa Joe says, "Hello, Rob F. I'll be able to be on the chat for a few minutes. However, I would rather be in the chat than being where I am at this moment. Bluetooth works well. Well, there you go. I mean, this is the chat to be in if you can only be in one chat, sir. So appreciate that. Hope you're well. Scott says, not so bad so far. Got a shovel off a hockey rink at the pond later on. Might not be so good then. Anyone new here, welcome. You'll have to subscribe and wait for 1 minute before you can chat on the best chat in YouTube. Yeah, if you're new here to your first Chord Dave live experience, you should say hello. And to do that, you'll have to be subscribed. And as soon as you hit subscribe, you still have to wait 60 seconds to chat to us. It's a YouTube thing. It's basically a trick to make you subscribe to the channel. But it's worth it because you can tell us about guitars and things and tell us how wrong we are from time to time if you want to do that. Sometimes people subscribe just to tell me I'm an idiot on the live stream. That's happened. People tell me I'm wrong all the time, and that's fine. If you want to do that, just make sure you're subscribed. I love you. Rob F says, so far so good. Ben made some patch cables for my pedal board this morning. Played my daughter's rock and roll. Roll your own pink Hello Kitty strat this afternoon. Even snuck in some chores in between. That's the worst chores. No way. It's Saturday, man. All right, I got to get some of them done. Did get to work on a couple of exciting projects I'm working on that I'm hoping will be cool over the next few months. We'll see. Buglip says, why are you shoveling the pond? I didn't think you played hockey. And Buglips also says, a landing strip for the Ducks. That I could understand. Great to see you, Buglips. Hope all's good with you, sir. And no, I don't. But the one that's there now is totally lame. It bothers me. So there you go. Scott looking out for the kids, I think, is what's going on there. T says those cream guitars are cool, all right. And Buglisp says, oh, I see. The town doesn't appreciate the Secret Service of Bogfoot enough, sneaking out at night to make the pond fit for use and asking nothing in return. I think I don't know if he asks for nothing in return, but you know, he seems like a good dude. It's like when he makes his My Only Guitars videos, he asks nothing in return, but he should be richly rewarded with likes and subscribes. So yeah, make sure you check out Scott's videos. They're always a lot of fun. Cream seems like a good company too. They do indeed. Yeah, they seem like good dudes. Had a quick chat with them last year when I was at their booth. Very busy. Like everyone was flocking to that booth last year. So I'm sure it's the same this year. It looks like they have a very similar setup. T says, anyone else salivating over gear they saw at NAMM? What are you salivating over, T? Tell us. Tell us. There's some interesting stuff that I've seen. Nothing that's made me go, ooh, I need to get one of them. But um, yeah, that's all really. Nothing that's made me go, oh my God, that's amazing. But still, some cool stuff. I think a lot of companies are holding back, to be honest. But I'm not really surprised at that. There's again, like the big three are not actually on the floor. Fender were listed as exhibitors, so I don't know if they pulled out of that, but they were supposed to be, and they were given floor space. But I saw a video with I think it was Lee Anderton, and he said that Fender were not there. So again, flaws, one of the flaws, one of the issues with not being there is that I can't say for sure whether they have any kind of presence there. Maybe they just have an advertisement up or something. I don't know, but they're certainly not really haven't released anything new that I've seen from the floor. Muddy H2O says, you're an idiot. You're wrong, and I don't like it when you call me a side project. Thanks for the super chat, Muddy. You are, as always, my fourth favorite person in the chat whose name begins with M. Appreciate you so much, sir. Even if you are a side project. Uh, no, thank you, sir. You're kind. And you know, somebody loves you. So far, formerly known as T, I have not seen anything that I have to have or that will change my 2024 purchase plans. I feel the same. I've seen some cool stuff, but nothing that's really jumped out. Um, you know, the at me as super cool. No, I haven't seen everything. But I know the stuff that I was excited about, I kind of seen before the show kicked off on Thursday, or the early stuff started to come out on Wednesday. So, yeah, nothing major, crazy to be honest. But as I said, like obviously Gibson had their showcase event the other day. We did the live stream about it on Thursday, which had some technical issues. I don't know what happened. The whole system just worked differently than it normally does. And to be honest with you, I thought I was live and I was doing the whole thing. I was going through everything, and nobody was watching because it wasn't live. And then, thankfully, I was told by my faithful assistant slash brother that I wasn't live. And then I resolved, went back to the start and started again. It was quite funny, actually. It was one of those microphones not on moments. Anywho's, let's see. We got a super chat came in from Buglips. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. Very kindly. He says, "You're smart, always right, and I love it when you call money a side project." Thank you, sir. Yes, I mean I appreciate that. It's very kind of you, and I'm sure Muddy is going to enjoy that too. So side projects, side kick, is what I would have gone with, but side project is the new thing from now on. Buglips also says there's a silver goblet in that pond somewhere. I threw it in there while drunk. It looks like the Holy Grail. Interesting. Well, there we go. We're all off to Newfoundland to find the Holy Grail. Who knew that's where it would be, in a pond? Rob Evans says to Scott, but my coach always said it was defense that wins championships. You can't win if you don't have a good defense. I think that is very true, no matter what the game is. This is my personal opinion. Sort your defense, you get everything else right. Scott says there is also a car in there too, something from the 30s or 40s. I mean, this lake sounds like it's a treasure trove for archaeologists. If I take on like a 4-year degree in archaeology, I can come along and drain the pond, see what's in there. T says I was dreading 2 things this year: the dental work I have to get done, and NAMM. NAMM should never be dreaded. It's always fun, whether you're attending or simply watching videos, which is a cheaper and safer way to do it. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's been any massive, huge things that have made me go, "Oh, I need that," from NAMM in the last few years. But well, obviously they took a couple of years off because of the thing that was happening. But even last year, I didn't come away with anything saying, "Oh, that's something I need to get my hands on." More so than I had going into it. Buglip says there's cars everywhere. We dug one out of our backyard, and there's 2 more across the old road. We need to get you guys on a podcast to talk about what you have found in your yards and ponds. I think every fishing rod I ever owned is in there too. All right. Well, welcome to What's at the Bottom of the Pond. I'm your host, Chord Dave. We're going to find out some very interesting things today. I want to find that castle with the Holy Grail lamp and 50 plus maidens who all wish to be punished, says Rob F. And I'm not sure I should comment further on that because I'll just get myself in trouble, which I'm quite good at. Booklip says, Rob, that sounds terrible. I sure hope I don't find that one. Yeah, your part was pretty bad for wrecked cars, says Scott. All right, well, I don't know what's going on over there, but you guys need to be careful. Think I might be postponing after the last 2 NAMMs. Says T. I don't know. The last 2, I mean, what has really pushed out in those ones that made you feel that way? I don't remember massive NAMM announcements, massively. Couldn't walk in the woods without coming across a wrecked VW bug. And Buglip says, I miss VW bugs. Real ones, not the 90s kind. Those were cool-ish. I miss seeing Aladas everywhere. That's a blast from the past, man. That's yeah. Those are fun. One of my favorite scenes from the Holy Grail, Michael Palin's Galahad doesn't want to leave the Castle Anthrax, but he is dragged away to protect his chastity from the naughty nuns. That is such a good movie. I haven't seen it in a long time, but yeah, hilariously good movie. If anyone wants to check it out. Although we should only talk about that on Carl's channel when he goes live. I don't know when he's doing his live again, but everyone should join us. for that when he does. I will post about it in the Facebook group. If you're following me on Twitter, I will also do that. My Twitter thing is at Chord Dave. Or maybe I log into one of my other Twitter accounts. I can't remember. It's on there somewhere. Um, Let me see. Scott Bogwood. Rob says Scott Bogwood. Have actually had the pleasure of riding in a Lada. Visited former USSR. My friend was very proud of his Lada, and he hot rodded it and kept it running good with black market parts. There you go, Rob. Yeah, there was in the 80s a lot of there was a lot of them running around Ireland, and they were notorious for breaking down all the time, like all the time. And there was one person I went to school with whose parents drove one, and he got abused all the time. I mean, like verbally, not in any other way. Not that I know of. But you never know. It's a very Catholic country, and stuff was going on all the time uh, in the churches. It was the 80s, they got away with all sorts of stuff. Anyways, Scott said they had a Lada dealership. We're talking about Ladas apparently tonight, lads. That's what's going on. Rob F says, missed last week due to a weekend birthday celebration. Beautiful wife set up drinking, feasting, and board gaming with close friends and family. Well, Rob, it sounds like a good weekend. Yeah, that's very cool. Birthday fun. If it was your birthday, happy birthday and congratulations. I think you told us it was your birthday, right? Well, hope the celebrations went well. I'm sure they did. Robert is here. Great to see you, Robert. Good morning to you. Hope Sunday's going well. You're part of the world. Ronald Lord is here. Great to see you, Ronald. Hope you are well. Thank you so much for joining us. And William Forrest as well. Great to see you, William. Thanks for stopping in. Let me see. What else we got? It's beer time, says T. T, welcome to the beer time. I presume that was like half an hour ago. Glenn Bailey. Great to see you, Glenn. Hope you're well, sir. Glad to see you in chat. As always, looking forward to your timeout, which will happen in about 45 minutes. Just assuming there's something timeout worthy later on. But no, good to see you, Glenn. Hope all's good with you, sir. Vincent Doyle, great to see you, Vincent. Evening all, nothing blowing me away at NAMM this year. Anyone seen anything good? No, not at all. There's nothing, and I think I'll keep saying this throughout the show. I've not seen yet anything that's made me go, I wish I had that right now. Like here's perfect example when I saw the NAMM 2020 videos. I think it was Anderton's I first saw, and then I saw it somewhere else, maybe 60 Cycle Home. The Epiphone SG special, I was like, boom, get me that. I want it now. Like, how quickly can I get it delivered? And I'd seen the video, and 30 minutes later, I had ordered the guitar. That was like, I can't not have this guitar now that I know it exists. And that was amazing. There's other times at NAMM where I've seen stuff like that, but like maybe not being able to find the thing or not being able to afford it. But in the last, like that was the last time I was like, oh, gotta have it. I haven't seen anything this year that's made me go like that. I didn't see anything last year when I was there that made me go, I need to have one of those. So yeah, Vincent, great to see you, sir. Nothing that I've seen so far. I am quite happy with some of the Epiphone stuff that I saw pre-NAMM, and I believe they had like a press event where they were showing off these guitars, and some of those are interesting. But I have thoughts. I have lots of thoughts on what they're doing, and I think some of the stuff is interesting in a good way, and some of it's interesting in a not so good way. And I think I mentioned this on the live stream I did on Thursday. Slash Jessica Les Paul, the USA one. I'm just curious as to why there's not a three-piece top on that. Because it doesn't then look like the guitar at all. It looks like a plain top, and they've just gone, this is the guitar, which is not what it was initially. So yeah, I don't really get it, but I also don't get the Kirk Hammett thing, Les Paul that they released, and I don't get the new greeny that they did either, whether it be Epiphone or Gibson Standard. I'm like, but the whole idea of those guitars is that they're relics, that they're beat up. Like as I've said before, I'm not a super huge relic fan, but if you're going to reissue a guitar that's famous for how much it's beat up, you got to add the beat upness, right? So yeah, it's a bit weird to me. But listen, there's people who are going to love those guitars and buy them and think they're the greatest guitar that was ever made, and I'm happy for those people, and I think that's great. But yeah, for me, just nothing has blown me away at all. And I like the Epiphone Firebirds that they're doing. The Firebird 1 is going to be very difficult to resist. However, the price will probably make me resist it because I believe they're going to be 14.99. We'll talk more about Epiphone prices in a bit because there's conflicting reports about the Dave Grohl DG335 pricing. Apparently, Sweetwater are telling people it's going to be between 12.99 and 13.99 in US dollars. But I've heard otherwise. I've heard it's going to be 14.99 US and 16.99 here in Europe. So we'll see on March 5th. But yeah, apparently Sweetwater taking pre-orders already. I believe they're sold out of pre-orders for their first run. Don't worry, don't panic. It's not limited as far as I'm aware. There is going to be, it's just going to be in the lineup. So you're going to be able, they're going to restock and you're going to get more chances to buy the Epiphone Dave Grohl if it sells out. So don't pay crazy prices on reverb or anything like that. Eric Ludinger's here. Great to see you, Eric. Hope all is good with you, my friend. And Matt Van Bosch I saw as well is here. Great to see you, Matt. Hope you're enjoying your new Chord Dave t-shirt. Thank you very much, sir, for the purchase. And yeah, hope it's very cool. And if anyone is curious, Matt has received delivery of, yeah, it's the right button, of this guitar. This is not a guitar, this is a t-shirt. Of this t-shirt, the Chord Dave Rolling Rock inspired, heavily demanded, and then when it was released, not purchased by many. But hey, I'm not bitter about it. It's fine. I just spent lots of evenings trying to get it right. There we go. But Matt's got one, and he's going to look cool at the Chord Dave meetup at some point. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. I hope you're well, sir. Marsha's here as well. Hey, hey, hey. Great to see you, Marsha. Hope all's good with you and Huey as well. Rob F says, so far, Vincent, the only thing that interests me is the future versions of the Hinted Friedman Vintage Series amps. Greg McFadden is here, says cheers Dave and the gang. Great to see you, Greg. Hope all's good with you, sir. Michael Courtois says cheers Dave, good day today. Put a deposit on the Epi DG335 and I'm seeing John 5 tonight. Well, that's very cool. Yeah, enjoy the show with John 5. And yeah, glad you're getting your hands on a DG335. I think they're very cool. And I think, yeah, I don't know how I feel about whether I want to pick one up or not. I'm sure I could get my hands on one here, probably off Holman, but I don't know. There's a lot ahead of it on my list, to be honest with you. I'm probably going to pick up a Les Paul next. That's my next purchase, I think. Marcia says we wish your relative well. Thank you, Marcia. Appreciate that. It's so kind of you guys, and I know a lot of you will be keeping us in your good wishes and thoughts and all that sort of stuff. Speaking of it, guys, one of our own community members as well, Ryan Byrne, is sick at the moment. I don't have any details for you, but he did post on Facebook this week that he'd been unwell. So if we can send him our best wishes as well. If you know Ryan, he's always in the chat here and contributes a lot to the Facebook community. And I have noticed that he's been missing from our live streams for the last few weeks. So yeah, apparently he's not doing too well. So if you're on Facebook and you can join our Facebook group, you can click the link in the description below. You'll find Ryan in there. He's quite an active member of the community. And if you can send him some good wishes, visit his Facebook page and just, wish him well. That would be cool because yeah, he's obviously going through some stuff as well. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. And obviously we all hope Ryan gets well soon. He's a huge member of the Chord Dave community. So speedy recovery is what we're hoping for. Rob says, sorry to hear that, Dave. Thoughts and prayers with you and your family. Thank you, sir. And the Blues Lawyer Confidential talked about the new Gibson amps, and he said the Gibson for sale rumor started in a comment section saying they had it on good authority that it was for sale, and boom. You see how these things, like, we could start a rumor here today, no problem. It would take very little to actually do. 12 of us would have to go to different groups, different Facebook channels, different Twitter things, different Discords and Reddit pages and all that. If we got 12 of us to say the same thing, people would start talking about it. That's the problem with the social media age, is that we all can put our stuff out there. So we could be sneaky people and be like, Chord Dave's got the lowdown on some brand new mega release Gibson stuff in that he's going to talk about in 2 weeks time, but he's only going to do it if he reaches 25,000 subscribers and everybody comes and subscribes to the channel, and all I got is like some bullshit I made up. I mean, that happens, right? So let's all do that. Let's just everybody go to all the social medias and be like, Chord Dave's got the goods. Uh, and I'll be like, there's new colors of Slash guitars coming out at some stage in the future, because that's going to happen. I'm pretty sure. Joe Bonamassa is going to have a new signature Epiphone later this year. That'll be my big scoop. And I don't know what it is yet. I just know he's going to happen. Um, anyways, um, let's not do that, by the way. Let's not make up rumors and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, comment section. It seems that Glenn is correct. The comment section story of how that news story got started is, it seems to be something like that. Somebody close to Gibson, and like I've said that before. I've said to you guys, I've been like, here, I've got this information from somebody in the know at Gibson, and I can't tell you, oh hey, this is from Cesar at Gibson, but because Cesar at Gibson would get in trouble. But so that's why I'll be like a little bit like vague about how I got the information or where I got it from, stuff like that. 9 times out of 10, I think those things, 8 times out of 10, those things have come true. But yeah, so it's difficult. I mean, there's also a lot of people just put out a lot of shit and they try to kind of get themselves going in comment sections and stuff like that. So I don't know what this is. There's been a lot of false news from the Gibson camps and from the Gibson side in the last year. So it might just be that people were trying to spread or give the news that they'd got, but it's, or they overheard or they misheard something. It's probably something like that, I'd say. Matt Van Bosch says, how cool are those new Epi Firebirds? Think I'll need to move on a couple of guitars, but definitely fancy that single pickup version. I think they're very cool, Matt. I think the Firebird 5 is cool, and it's the Inverness Green is the finish that was on the Firebird 1 that we showed on Thursday. But yeah, that looks great, man. I think there's a red one as well, that they're putting out there in both variants, I think. Maybe it's just a Firebird 5, but Firebird 1 looks very, very cool. Yeah, I'm not, as you guys know, I'm not a huge one pickup guitar person. It's not like something, if I was designing a guitar, for example, I'd put two pickups in it. Uh, and I didn't really vibe with the Gold Glory when I got picked that up, but that's probably more to do with the manufacturing, the finish issues than anything. But yeah, the Firebird looks great. It does. The Firebird 1 looks really great. I would pick that up. I do really like the Joe Bonamassa Firebird that came out a few years ago. The gold one. So that looks great. So yeah, I'm hoping to see these. Apparently what was said was that the pricing is going to be a hot topic on them. So whether that's in a good way, I doubt. So we'll see. DMAC is here. Great to see you, DMAC. Hope all is good, sir. Says I saw you had to Marsha. I saw you had a good post on those new Falcon amps. I was hoping maybe they'd fix the Mesa designs. I guess not. I mean, I don't really, I can't really comment because I don't know enough, guys. So yeah, but you guys are educating me, and I'm happy for that. Thank you. Marcia says, "Have you guys hit the thumbs up yet? Because I don't see as many likes as we have people here. You don't want to upset Marcia, guys. She will come at y'all. 43 concurrent viewers, 28 likes currently. I mean, I think we gotta earn those likes somehow. I don't know what we will do to do that. Michael Kurtzwell says Scott #1. I mean, there's a couple of Scots, so which one? Enjoy the burgers while you can eat, because in the future it'll be strictly a bug burgers. It sounds yummy. I don't know about that. I think that's I don't think that's going to happen. Hopefully, in my life anyway. I don't. Yeah. Anyways, no thanks. No thanks. Anyone who wants to make bug burgers a thing. Hopefully your relative heals. Thanks, Glenn. Appreciate it. Yeah. I did my like duty. Marcia says, Bug Lips, I would never let you down. There you go. Scott says, Dave, is the mic plugged all the way in? You got some crackling. Might be my end though. And Buglip says, not crackling for me, Bogfoot. It might just be you. So I'm going to take it that it is just for you, Scott. So yeah, no, the mic is actually the built-in one on the MacBook, so there's nothing I can adjust on that side. The OBS system that I use won't recognize any other microphones at the minute. So I don't know, it might do because I just updated it, but yeah, I've been using this for the last 6 months and it's been working fine. So I think it might just be you, sir. Sorry about that. Michael Courtois says he sounds good on my phone. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it. Uh, nobody's ever said I sounded good before. I'm just kidding. 3 people have said that. Formula Honest, he says, 3 chord Dave will only fall out if you're a bad loser, buddy. I'm a terrible loser, sir. I'm a terrible loser. Yes, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine because I won't have to worry about that. It's all good. We're doing it for Jurgen. He's getting all 4 this year because it's his last season. Anyway, we won't talk about it because it's making me upset just thinking about it. Corey says, "Hey gang, hope everyone had a great week. Don't forget to hit all those buttons for Dave." Thanks, Corey. Yeah, great to see you, sir. Hope all's good with you, my friend, and great to see you in the chat as always. Marcia says, "Did you guys hear what happened to Steve Vai this week? All his gear got stuck in England." See, all those that's the you got to be prepared for the stuff with the Brexit. He played an entire gig with one fan's gem that the fan brought to sign by coincidence and pedals. That's crazy. I didn't hear about that. Obviously had a lot going on, but I didn't hear about that, but that is that. I mean, that is the most Steve Vai thing ever. Yeah, I wonder why his gear got held up. Was it like a shipping thing? There's lots of shipping issues. Even I was talking to somebody today, a couple of days ago, about stuff that I need to get, and they were like, "It's going to take an extra few days because shipping out of England is ridiculous at the minute." So maybe it was something to do with that. I don't know what's going on. I'm way out of the loop with the transport issues. But there we go. Glenn Bailey says, "So far the Loden semi or I'll start that again." And Glenn Bailey says, "So far the Loden that guitar company electric semi hollow similar to 335 is my fave from NAMM so far." Yeah, I've only seen that on KDH's video. It looks cool. To be honest, yeah, look, both of their electrics look pretty cool. It's still in prototype, but will be out in a couple of months, I think they said. Looks very cool. Michael Courtois says that Vai story was incredible. It just sounds like so much like Steve Vai, to be honest. It's great that he can do that. Rob F says, "I can't help but call them the Gibson tulip. The more I see them, the more I start to warm up to the guitar." Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. I just something about it to me. I think if Ted McCarthy was still here and they said to him, "Hey Ted, we want to pop out this guitar that you designed in 1957. What do you think?" I think he would say, "Please do not do that." And I said that back in the day. I didn't think he would want his name put onto the guitar initially. Now, I did not know Ted McCarthy. I don't know his thought process. I just don't think he would have gone with it because I think he would have done it in his time at Gibson if he thought it was a model that would have been successful, and he didn't. And the dude knew what he was doing. So I would be very surprised if I wouldn't be surprised, I should say, if it came out that Ted McCarthy didn't want anything to do with that guitar. Obviously, we'll never know. We'll have to wait till the afterlife to ask him such questions. Ted, if you want to visit us via like some sort of medium, that'd be great. Scott Bogwood says, "Okay, seems to be on my end. Other Wi-Fi channel is better." Good, Scott. Glad you're in the non-crackling side again. Al says, "I like the guitar." Good stuff, Al. Is it the what you call it? The tulip guitar, or which one? I mean, look. So as I said, some people are going to dig it, and some people are just going. I'm lukewarm to cold on it. Like I'm not. I don't hate it. I just don't get it. Ben Allmark says, "The coolest thing out of NAMM that I've seen so far is the blue Guitar Amp X. That's not even out yet. I haven't even seen it yet, Ben. I'm sure over the next couple of days I'll catch up on all the NAMM coverage, and I'll check that out for sure. Sounds like something interesting." DMAX says, "I've been digging your vids, Scott." Good stuff. I love when people are watching Scott's videos because he's very fun. I enjoy them. And he's got some cool guitars to show off too. I watched a video where Vi's guitarist told a tale. There was some footage of the gig too. I'd love to hear Steve's version. I'm sure we'll get that at some point. Michael Courtois says Amp X looks killer. Have the Amp One and love it still. Very cool. Ronald Lord says I can live without that tulip. Uh, there you go. That's the greatest way to put it. I can live without it. It's fine. I don't mind it exists, but I can absolutely live without it. Great stuff, Ronald. Appreciate that. T says Gibson Custom Kirk Hammett 89 is in the shops. $10,000. Will this make the price of vintage 80s Les Pauls go up? Vintage 80s Les Pauls, vintage 80s Gibson guitars, price wise, have been going up like crazy. Some of the best examples, like the ones nobody wants, have been, or less desirable ones, have been going up in crazy prices as well. I've been keeping an eye on 80. I always keep an eye on 80s guitars, having been born in the 80s and wanting to pick up some 80s guitars for various reasons. So I keep an eye on them fairly regularly, and the prices in the last year or so have skyrocketed on 80s guitars. Norlin era getting a lot of love actually from Gibson at the minute, so a lot of Norlin influences are being reissued or rumored to be reissued. So I think that might be why. But yeah, I think you'll see a temporary bump in 80s Les Paul prices, to be quite honest with you. If I was buying one though, I'd want it to be all original, which unfortunately a lot of 80s Les Pauls are not. Even down to the cases, a lot of people will buy 80s guitars just for the chainsaw cases and then swap them out into something, either a third party case or another type of, like a different Gibson case. So yeah, there's lots of things to look out for if you are going to buy an 80s one. Will the Kirk Hammett one? I don't know. I don't get it, man, because Kirk Hammett's guitar has EMG pickups in it. This one that they've put out doesn't. Uh, so anyway, listen, if you're a mad Kirk Hammett fan and you want a guitar that's kind of a little bit like his one that he played in those days of Metallica, I suppose he still plays it. Then great, but yeah, I wouldn't spend 10 grand on it. If same thing though, like I'm saying, like they're little details are they're just missing out on for me. If I was going to spend 10 grand on that guitar, I would want them to have the actual like same pickups that's in Kirk Hammett's guitar, right? But maybe not. Maybe other folks are like, no, it's fine. Put some probe workers in there. Who cares? Chimp number one says, hi everyone. Good to see you, Chimp number one. Thanks for joining us. Al says, I tried the new Gibson amp at the local store and it's great. There you go. That's all you need to know if it's great. Can't get much better than that. Good stuff, Al. Thanks for letting us know. Glenn Bailey says, nice, Al. It was that nice, question mark. Rob F says, that's what I thought, Ronald, when I saw it first. Though for some reason, the more I see it, the tulip, the more I soften my feelings towards it. And Scott says, yeah, the new 89 looks nothing like Kirk's Les Paul. That was on KDH's channel over a year ago while it was for sale. I agree. Not a big. I mean, honestly, it's not my thing, so I haven't looked into it. There's a lot of reasons why I just wouldn't be interested in that guitar. Ronald says, Rob, I tried to, just can't get it. Maybe it will grow on me. See, grow, tulip. I get it. Al says, Ben, I thought it would sound great. Didn't spend much time and couldn't really push it. It was loud. There you go. I mean, I think there'll be a lot of people who try those amps and really like them. I don't know if I will, to be honest. I mean, try them because, yeah, there's a lot of other amps that I'll probably pick up before. The Falcons look great on the outside and seem to sound quite nice. My concern is the inside, where there are enough warning signs on the one good shot I saw that worry me, says Rob F. T says, how much was the bass he nearly dropped? That was some catch. I don't know, man, but the cream guitars were on the high end, like they're high end guitars, so I wouldn't expect it to have been cheap. So yeah, not sure of their basses though, probably a few thousand, I would imagine. Al says, not bad, it's hand wired. D-Max says there are vids showing up about bad wiring, design, etc. on the Falcons, similar to critiques of Mesa. They haven't learned their lesson. Well, they're a Gibson company now, so the more I see badly designed lower cost tube amps, the better my Boss Katana sounds, says D-Mac. Weirdly, nobody really complains about the sound of the Boss Katana, and there's probably a reason why. Boss doing a good job. Al says we will see how well the amp is after a few months. That's a good point. That's a good point. Sadly, no, DMAC. There are some really good amp designers out there. I wish both Fender, Gibson, slash Mesa would hire some of them. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. Who knows? But yeah, you're right. They should maybe look for new talent if they're not at their peak at the minute. I'm sure they will once they get their guitars sorted out, which for some companies will be longer than others. Al says, for me, the Falcon was too loud for home, didn't attenuate it. And DMAC says AC15 and DSL 40 are a couple of good lower priced, relatively tube amps. I saw some guitar place had like a 40% off on the DSL amps like today. I think it was maybe guitar like 40 or maybe it was 50% off. They were really cheap. I was tempted to buy one. Um was it at DSL 40? It might have been. Yeah, so there you go. Let me see what else have we got here. We're back on side projects and stuff like that. If Fender was there, we all would have heard about it on the first day. Very true, very true. As I say, they were listed as exhibitors and there was floor space marked out for them. So I don't know what's at that floor space. But there was a few companies last year who had floor space, but they just didn't turn up or they just weren't there. Their booth was empty. So yeah, maybe Fender just didn't turn up. I don't know. Maybe they were gonna go and the NAMM organization put up them in the exhibitors list and they were like, oh, Gibson aren't going. We're not either. I don't know. Rob F says there are some new Vox hand-wired amps announced DMAC, and they're supposed to be modern versions of the early 60s versions. That'll be cool. For sure, a lot of great players played 60s Vox amps. Brian May, Rory Gallagher, to name just two. Lots of others as well, of course. Ronald Lord says, I do like the new LTD EC01. That is a nice looking guitar. I just don't like the color. I wish it was something different. I'm not a silver burst kind of dude. But yeah, I think that's the right one, isn't it? But yeah, it's a nice looking guitar for sure. Richard Clark says, side project is better than side piece. Oh, he wishes he was a side piece. Uh, sorry, Muddy. Just kidding. DMAX says, I'm hoping one day to get a Friedman. Deciding which type is almost as tough as saving up for one. Yeah, the saving up part is the worst. Targets here again. One says hello again. Great to see you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. There's a watery tart in the pond with a sword. Says Bug Lips. I think we should just leave the pond talk for now. I'm not sure. Could be violating so many of the YouTube community standards. Who knows? I mean, you can violate them by saying hello, YouTube. So who knows? Colin Nolan says, impressed with the Yamaha Pacifica Standard Plus. Gear for Music has a great selection on its website with new NAMM gear. Yeah, Colin, the Pacifica looks interesting. I mean, I've just seen the KDH video going through the different changes to it and stuff like that. Interesting with the way they've gone with it. I like a lot of the stuff. The Flaming Necks look pretty cool. Hang on, am I thinking of the right video? I think so. And yeah, I mean, look, Pacificas are popular as beginner guitars, even. So there will probably be some person who gets a cheap Pacifica, upgrades to the what is it, the Pro Plus or whatever they're calling it, and so far, just only ever plays Pacificas in their guitar career. And that's cool, it's cool. They do look very nice, and yeah, I'm pretty impressed with them, to be quite honest with you. And I'm not sure the guy who was showing KDH was a guitar player himself, but he was doing his best. He'd read the book, he'd read the manual, he kind of got what he was talking about. But maybe he's a super guitar person. It just didn't come across 100%. I've seen a few people say that there was some guitar presentations by non-guitarists, which were fun. Anyways, I don't know. Marshall says, T, I'm still trying to decide if the new Martin guitar is crap. I can't wait for that channel with the luthier that saws guitars in half to get a hold of one. Interesting. You know, I haven't seen which guitar you're talking about, but I mean, it's probably not crap. Let's just hope it's not crap. I'm going to say it's not crap. Um, Muddy says, Bug Lips, I see what you did there. But does he? We'll see. We'll see. We'll find out soon when his blog post about this week's show comes out on Thursday. Bug Lip says, I once found a toolbox in my backyard filled with human excrement. I'm not even sure why somebody would want to do that. Again, community standards, as I think have been violated in many ways. YouTube. Thanks for sharing, sir. Yeah, I don't know why I'm going to do that, to be quite honest with you. Scott's got a lot of, maybe you pissed him off. I don't know. Benny Larson's here. Great to see you, Benny. Hope all's good with you, sir. Thanks for so much for joining us. Hope all's good in your part of the world, sir. Let me try and catch up with where I was, because yeah, all those things are after just dropping in on top of me. Wanted my Peter Green. Oh no, that's not. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. I do that as if I'm looking up, but I'm not. It's just scrolling down. There we go. Benny Larson was the last one. So here we go. Friedman, Richard Clark. Friedman just released a new vintage series. Is getting tougher to choose, says DMAC. His initial feedback from a Martin video he reacted to, well, let's just say he was skeptical and critical. I think I've seen that channel once because someone sawing a guitar in half sounds familiar, but yeah, I don't know what the name of the channel is. Going well, Muddy H2O is here. Oh, and Dave is too. Hey, listen, I'm always here, except the weeks that I don't turn up and then we don't have a show. But anyway, it's all good. It's all good. 1 hour into the show right now. Let's see how many likes we got. See if we can get some more. 32 likes. Did we not have more than that a little while ago? We definitely have less people watching. So more people, come and join us, please. Not that anyone's gonna see that and then come and join. Anyway, never mind. Formerly known as T says to Marsha, I think the new sustainable Martin is way overpriced. If the wood is plentiful and sustainable, why the high price? Cause they can, sir. Because it's like Gibson, you're paying for their reputation most of the time. Not even the reputation, just the brand. You're paying for the brand. I don't know how much the price is, by the way, so I'm sure it's in the thousands, many thousands. March says, I'm hearing that attendance is better than last year at NAMM overall. More booths and more people there. That's good news, at least. People thought NAMM would be dead by now. Guess it lives on. Yeah, I've heard the same, that there's more, the attendance is up, which is great for the NAMM organization, selling $150 tickets to their 3-day event. More exhibitors. I mean, their exhibitor space was taken up last year, most of it. But I don't think NAMM will die. I just think it'll become something very different. The worst thing that ever happened, obviously, as like in a lot of industries, was the C word. It came along and everyone stopped going to shows. And NAMM is one of those things. But at the same time, and I've seen people this week on random guitar related Facebook groups in particular, Fender Play and Epiphone fans and a few others saying, I'm thinking of going to the NAMM show. Like they woke up on Thursday and were like, I'm thinking of going to the NAMM show. It's $150. Should I go? No, you shouldn't. Unless you have a business interest, you should not go to the NAMM show. It's not a tourist event. And I think a lot of people think it is. But I'll be honest, like even as a creator there last year, I got the feeling that unless you were extremely well known or you were there to do business, they didn't want to know you. They have business to do. People are trying to make sales. People are trying to get their product shifted or into retailers and stuff like that. So there's a certain, we have to put up with the YouTube people kind of thing, but they really are not interested in you. And then someone's like, I just want to go to NAMM just to be at NAMM. They don't, unless you're there for a business reason, you're making videos or you're writing for a professional magazine or something. it's not a touristy thing. Don't go. I would say it's fun, but you should be there for a work thing. Um, Also, you actually, as far as I'm aware, they still have it so that you have to be involved in the music industry somehow, um, or have a YouTube channel that has, I believe, the actual things you have to have X amount of followers and X amount of content released. So you can't start a YouTube channel today and go to NAMM tomorrow and that sort of thing. And you can't go tomorrow because it's over. But excuse me, you know what I'm saying. Um, but yeah, the NAMM show is going to be very different, I think, in the years. If Gibson, Fender, and PRS don't go back to it at all, if they're just like, no, we're not doing it, then I can see it becoming a much smaller guitar-wise event. Other um, musical instruments will probably gain more space and stuff like that. But yeah, it is still a big thing to go to the NAMM show for a lot of companies, though. And while YouTubers are going, I think it'll still be a popular thing. I'll see you there next year. It'll be fun. Money says, Glenn, thank you for getting your priorities in a correct order, sir. Stop pretending Muddy outranks anyone on this channel. He doesn't, except for, um, I mean, let's just be honest. He does not outrank me. I can prove it, but I'm not gonna because I'm scared of him. Richard Clark says, it seems like NAMM is turning into more of a social event. I kind of like that idea. It's interesting that you say that because I just said a little bit the opposite. I think a little bit they're more going to lean into those influencer things, the NAMM organization, not necessarily the companies that are there. But yeah, I do think that there's going to be some changes to how it is over the next few years. Marsh says, T, you think it's overpriced, but they're paying for all the new technology and the headstock. I don't know. AKW 1987 says the upcoming Mark Knopfler guitar auction should be interesting. Well, what I can say for sure is that there will be some amazing guitars up for auction that I will not be able to afford. So, yep. Lots of jealousy will be going around. Lots of gas, I'm sure, caused by that auction happening. My eye is starting to do a thing. That's weird. Marcia says, T, you know the channel I'm talking about, the luthier that saw his guitars in half. Go watch his reaction video. It makes so much sense. I love the idea of the guitar, but execution is the opposite of thumbs up, which is not good. Oh, Glenn Bailey with a super chat, sir. Sorry, I missed it. I think. Yes, I did. My apologies, sir. That should have been prioritized. It said, whose Dave's is that Muddy's? Whose Dave is that Muddy H2O's sidekick? Sir, that I told you you'd be getting a timeout. Even for super chat, that can happen. But thank you, sir, for the super chat. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Muddy H2O says, no wonder Slash doesn't go to NAMM anymore. Tourists no longer welcomed. Sir, did you just call Slash a tourist? I don't know. I don't know what I can do about that. Slash is on tour with his real band, Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators, and he's kicking ass. So he's working his way around like Mexico right now, and he's warming up to his March 18th gig in Dublin, where he and I will be rocking out together. One of us will be on stage. One of us will not. Rob F says the new Mythos Herculean dual overdrive pedal looks very interesting. I could use it on a small travel board. I don't know what that is because I haven't seen it. But if you said it looks interesting, sir, I will look into it for sure. Scott says a trans oxblood on a flame top is classy. Trans oxblood is a very interesting color. Very dark. You're very dark, sir. Yeah, don't hate it. Scott Brower is here and says, is it okay if I ask a guitar related question? Absolutely, sir. Please do. Please do. I'm not thrilled with the new Kirk Hammett, says Glenn Bailey. And Buglip says, this is theoretically a guitar channel. Theoretically. I mean, it usually is. I haven't yet made an actual video about the weather or the contents of a pond. But who knows what the algorithm will lead us to at some point. Marcia says, yes, Dave, that's what I meant on the comments when you streamed about Jessica. It's not a three-piece top. Then how is the Jessica? A plain tap is still cool, but it's not really done right as a signature. Yeah, does they see? I get it. I still think it's cool that they were like, let's do Jessica. I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't think it'll sell well because it's going to be in the USA just standard lineup, as far as I'm aware. Unless I'm wrong and it is some sort of custom shop thing and they just showed a bad one. I don't know. But why would they do that? Uh, but then again, it's Gibson. You never know. I agree, Dave. I wanted my Peter Green tribute to be clean and have a nice cherry burst, so it looks like it did in '67. Um, there you go. And Buglip says theoretically Chord Dave. Some people think that's a more accurate name for me, for sure. T says Marsha, overpriced would be an understatement. Research and development, my B Olix. You'd think they reinvented the wheel with those prices. They did. They actually went back to the drawing board and reinvented the wheel. It took them a long time and um, a lot of stuff. Marcia says maybe that's what Sweetwater discounts for the pricing of the DG335. I don't know. I think they're telling people a minimum $12.99, and they're basing that on Adam Jones, um, Les Pauls when they came out. I don't know if those prices are confirmed. So anyone who has bought one of those or pre-booked one of those, uh, I don't know. Maybe let us know as soon as you can. If they confirm the pricing at $12.99, that's good news. It means they've changed what they were initially going to put them out as. So yeah, I mean that even puts it cheaper than the Joe Bonamassa signature SG, which is $13.99. Um, in fact, on the Epiphone website, if you look at the signature prices, they've gone up again. So yeah, I'd be surprised if it's $12.99. Happily surprised. So you never know. Maybe Cesar has been watching our videos and has decided to make a change for the good. They reinvented the bracing, not the wheel. Woof. What a statement. I think they clearly reinvented the wheel. No, just kidding, of course, of course. Um, Let me see then. Those Firebirds have me interested. They need to be on the level of 59 standard though. Or we'll just buy a Gibson, says Richard Clark. They need to be really good, Richard. I think they're going to be because they're in the Inspired by Custom shop, or Inspired by Gibson Custom is what they're calling it. So it's like the Greenie, the Adam Jones one that's coming out next month, the 1959s, and the not even the 59s, the Flying V, Carina Flying Vs and Explorers, like those ones, like they're premium top level Epiphones. So yeah, they're gonna be pricey. They're gonna have Gibson pickups, and they're gonna be hoping to impress people with them. So I think they're gonna be very good quality. That's what I would expect. And a couple of people I spoke to during the week did say that they were like the standout. Like everyone was talking about them at the event. So um, I think it's one of those flagship products. So hopefully it'll be good. Folks, I think we all need to get that Rolling Rock tea. Rob, do you know what? I think I love you. So thanks. Sir Wayne McConnell says hello from BC, Canada, Dave. And great to see you, Wayne. Hope all's good with you. Scott Brewer says I have a 2010-11 Gibson SG faded mint, but not in love with it. Should I sell and get an Epi SG custom, or will I regret it? Scott, I would say to you, sir, if you're not in love with the guitar, move it on, and get what you can with what you sell. For you might get a good deal, you might sell it at a good price, and be able to get something very cool. I do recommend Epiphone SGs. I've had some very good experiences with them. One of my favorite ever guitars, not just budget guitars, as you guys know. I've said it probably to drive you guys mad when I do mention it now. But I is the Epiphone SG special. So yeah, I would say do it, Scott. I don't think you'll be disappointed, to be honest. Muddy H2O says, Glenn, did this Dave guy just completely ignore your super chat? It went by so quickly on my screen, so I do apologize, Glenn. I apologize with all my heart, and for that, I'll guarantee you no timeouts for the next 2 weeks. Marsh says, does it come with an actual Rolling Rock? It doesn't. I'm not licensed to sell alcohol, so I can't do that. Scott says, "Get well soon, Ryan," and so does Muddy HO says, "Get well, Ryan. Miss you, buddy." We do miss Ryan. Yeah, it's great for you guys to pop in there. Thanks for that. We love you, Ryan. I noticed he's not around too. I figured maybe he went away on a trip or something. I'll stop by his page and wish him well for sure. Thanks, Marshall. Appreciate that. Sadly, I fear the shirt does not come with a beer. No, I can confirm it doesn't. Unfortunately, Michael Curtis says, "By the way, my DG325 I put a deposit on was priced at $12.99. I'm glad to hear that, Michael. Yeah, as I said, I've heard a lot of folks going. I'm, I have seen in different groups several people say I ordered mine at Sweetwater, but different prices are given. Some people are saying $12.99, some people saying $13.99. So I'm not sure if Sweetwater has their price locked in, but if they're telling you $12.99, make them stick to it. That's what I would do. Um, Glenn Bailey says to Michael, in my opinion, no, let me know. That's what he said. Let me know. There you go. How the John 5 show goes. He's coming here in a few weeks. I was thinking of going. Seats are a. Oh, it just finished. It's all good. um, anyways, let's go. I don't even think I've ever had a Rolling Rock in my life. Marsha, come on. What? That's just somebody needs to rectify that. Um, It's a long time since I had one, like years. It's not bullshit if you believe it, says Buglips. It's true, maybe it is. Targan says, I'm going to start a malicious rumor that Leo Fender didn't even play guitar. That'll take away his credibility. Yes, exactly. Let's start that rumor. Let's say he did play guitar, but badly. That'll kick some people in the guts. Uh, Benny Lars says, "Take care and get better soon, Ryan." And Marsha, I think they would have to card us when we purchase the shirt, says Rob. They would. Greg Stimple says, "Hello from Nebraska." Hello to Nebraska, sir. Hope you're doing well. And Glenn Bailey says, "Money, HO, I believe so. If I had feelings, I'd be hurt right now." I'm sorry, Glenn. I really do apologize. It was not my intention. Super chats are supposed to pop up right in front of me, and I moved the window um, to check something, and I forgot to put it back. So I apologize to you profusely. I'll make it up to you, sir. I have some ideas. Yeah, but thank you for the super chat. It is very nice when you guys do that. Because actually, probably means YouTube will actually pay me in January, so that's nice. The the goal on this channel each month is hit that payout level. And most months I get it, but not every month. But it looks like January might happen. It also might not. We'll see what happens. Formerly known as T said, let's start a rumor that there's a Chord Dave signature Les Paul standard coming out, getting great inside reviews on his new model. You're welcome. Yeah, I think what it will be is an emerald green slash faded pelham blue. You can work that out any way you want, but those two colors will be involved, and it will have four P90s and a classic 57. It hasn't been done before, but it's going to be done now. And around the back, mini humbucker. No one's ever thought of putting a mini humbucker around the back, have they? No. But there we go. It's going to happen. It's going to be the greatest signature guitar ever. Ah, I wish I could tell you guys what's actually happening signature guitar wise, but it's a secret. Michael Kurtzwa says, Glenn Bailey puts on an amazing show, such a virtuoso for John 5. Yeah, what a player. Dude is talented for sure. Booglip says, I believe I'm the rightful kind of Atlantis and none of you surface dwellers have been able to prove me wrong. Rightful king of Atlantis, I presume an autocorrect makes it kind. So there you go. Damn you, autocorrect. I'll say it for you. But yes, you can be the king of Atlantis. It's fine. Glenn says, I like John 5. I'm probably going to go, will be about an hour from here. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. Rob says, agree. Chord Dave. LPs and SGs need 2 pickups and Strats need 3. Yeah. That's, 9 times out of 10, that's what I want to see. Although, I don't hate seeing Strats with 2. Like if there's P90s or humbuckers in there, I don't hate it. I'm not a super big Strat guy, but I think if I was buying a Strat, it would just be like the classic Strat vibe. more so. Telly's I'm a little bit more free. Do whatever you want with Telly. It's all good. Greg Simple says, I'm going to get me an AJ Epiphone Silver's plain with the Gibson headstock. Very cool, sir. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. As I said, those should be out next month, and which starts next week, right? So yeah, they're gonna start firing out stuff. From what I've been told, you were gonna be like Gibson Epiphone release week after week for the first probably couple of months or the next couple of months. So yeah, I would expect a lot of cool stuff coming, and that AJ is due early February, I believe. So you won't have too long to wait. Formerly known as T says, Dave, when they get delivered, I will send you photos of why I'm barring myself from next year's NAMM. That's no problem, sir. That's no problem. We'll have we'll have a good chat about it, I'm sure. When NAMM comes around, it's always tempting though, isn't it? Dragon says, "Oh God, that bug burgers thing it goes hand in hand with AJ's gay frog theory." Um, Benny Larson says, "Is that out yet?" Greg Stimple, it's not out yet. The AJ, it's out next month. Benny, just if you are interested in it. Target says, "I did. He barely got it right. He stretched the real details in his silly mind." Um, anyways. Marsh says, Dave I decided to check his guitars for the first time ever, including the Hydra. Got stuck in the airport. Doesn't seem like he got it back yet. I saw a bit from his guitarist yesterday. Very interesting. Good stuff. Good stuff. Bug Burgers sounds better than Frog anything, says Scott. I don't know. I think frogs might be a better meat solution. I don't know. Not either way, they're not top of my menu choices. Let's be honest. Eric Ainsley 67 says, I'm hesitant to comment on what Dave is saying in the moment because he'll read it 10 minutes later and then it just sounds dumb. I mean, hey, 10 minutes is a very conservative estimate, sir, but I appreciate it. And no, listen, if you make a comment, I always try. I don't always succeed to try and link it back to what you are talking about, or try to remember, make out what it is. So please do comment, and I will try to make sense of it and say, hey, this is about the Adam Jones, or this is about the Muddy H2O sidekick issue, whatever the case is. But yeah, I appreciate that. I try my best to catch up. You know, we do have a lot of comments to go through. Somebody said to me recently that I shouldn't read all the comments, that I should like talk about guitar stories this week and read selective comments. The way it was put to me was that like you'll get more people, uh, you know, reaching out in other ways. So I don't know, man. I like the way we do it, but it does get very difficult to catch up and to keep up with you guys because the chat is all go, which is great because that's a community, that's people chatting with their friends and stuff and having a good time. So yeah, I don't know, but I'll do my best. I promise to link it up to whatever we were talking about, even if it's 10 minutes later. Although I have a feeling like someone is going to say that it's going to be longer than that, most likely. Thanks is all right, fella. Keep doing what you're doing then. Not trying to change your mind. I just think it's silly. Was that? Oh, I think we've redacted comments. Let's hopefully let's not have any arguments in the chat, guys. We're all entitled to our views, and there's no nobody is in the wrong on this channel. Let's see what we got. Glenn says 10 minutes if we're lucky, 20 maybe. Yes, that sounds about right. Let me just see what we've got here. Can I see this comment? Message redacted. It's not letting me see it. All right. So, okay, we've got comments redacted. I haven't done it, so I don't know what those comments are. But that, guys, look, hopefully there's nothing. We had an argument in the chat once. It didn't end well, so let's just try and keep it on the what do you call it? Positivity. That's it. Let's keep the positivity and let's all be friends. The rest of the amps and gear would have to have been checked, so that would have been gotten stuck regardless. They flew from the UK to somewhere in the Middle East. I forget where, says Marcia. Yeah, that's crazy. I would freak out if my guitars got trapped at an airport that I wasn't at. If they didn't turn up where you need them. God damn, that would be scary. Eric Ainsley says, Scott Bogford, I can see where that could be the case. Okay, I'll embrace it then. Good stuff, Eric. Yeah, do embrace it. I promise you, I'll try and figure it out. Targan says, yes, Ben, I disagree with one point you made. So, all right, I think I know where the argument is going from. This guy's this. As I said, and I've said many times on the channel, we're different. A lot of us will have different beliefs, different religions, different political views, different things. Let's try and keep it guitar and fun stuff. We've all got different beliefs. Some people will disagree with me, and that's cool, you know. But yeah, let's try and keep it civil and just judge people silently. That's all we can do. It's certainly what Muddy H2O does with me, except without the silent part. This is technically a guitar chat, says Scott. Technically, a lot of the time. That's what we go for. And Scott, this is actually a free-for-all, says Marcia. Indeed. Muddy says, Eric Ainsley, Dave doesn't know what's going on at any point of his life, and neither do we, so no worries, fire away. That's true. Day to day, I'm like, I don't know what's happening tomorrow. So yeah, he's got a good point there. Eric Isaac says, I'm surprised that Vi doesn't have a UK stash. Most people that tour a lot keep equipment in various countries. Yeah, I know, like, for example, the whole Slash thing, because I follow Slash a lot because he's I'm one of those fan people, and he has like different touring rigs that he will send out ahead of time so it gets there first. So yeah, I think that would have been that is kind of surprising. I guess he probably doesn't have as big a rig these days, or maybe he doesn't have a big touring crew as he may have had at one time. I don't know. But yeah, it does seem surprising, all right, that he didn't have something in place just in case that happened, because you got to be careful. I mean, I always bring a change of clothes on my carry-on just in case my checked luggage doesn't get to the location, because I know what happens is the airline give you like a bag with a t-shirt in it that's see-through, by the way, because I know that because I had to wear one once, so I started bringing clothes in my carry-on just in case. um yeah, and then it hasn't happened since, but touch wood, it won't happen again. We'll see. Eric also says, Money HO, yeah, I need to just work in the chat and ignore the thing going on at my left. Yeah, just keep going. Just keep putting it in there. I genuinely, when I'm usually 45 minutes to an hour behind in chat. And that's by design, so that there will be chat there by the end of the show. Because sometimes if I don't open the chat early, we can run into a little bit of, there's no chats left. So it takes the pressure off the chat, but also, yeah, me just talking. As Money HO clearly puts it here, so succinctly, you're going to fit right in. We consider Dave our white noise. He's so kind to me. Yeah, indeed. Well, there you go. Chord Dave, did you get a chance to check out the auction place I sent you? Speaking of auctions, did you check out the Mark Knopfler auction at Christie's? So you sent me is it Holgate auctions? Is that them? Yeah, so funny story, I am banned from that auction place. I mean, I can visit their website, I'm just not allowed to buy anything from them. And the reason is, I bought a guitar at auction once and they wouldn't accept my payment. Like, I tried for a solid week to send them money, and they just wouldn't accept my money. So they sent me link after link, and every time I went through, they were just like, the transaction could not be completed. Like, I must have been 40 times, to the point where my bank rang me and were like, a transaction keeps getting requested and it's been approved on our side but rejected on the other side. Like, do you know what's happening? And I said, yeah, I'm trying to buy a guitar from an auction house in London and they just won't put it through. And they're like, well, the transaction was for, I think it was for like 600 euros. And they're like, there's more than 600 euros in your account, so it should be fine. There's no reason for it to be denied on their side. So I called them. I was like, dude, look, either put it through now and make sure it goes through, like call your bank or whatever you got to do and take the payment, or cancel the transaction. And they said, if you cancel the transaction, you can never buy anything from us again. And I said, no, you're canceling the transaction because you won't accept my payment. And they said, I'm going to cancel the transaction, but bear in mind, you are not allowed to purchase guitars or anything else from us in the future. So yeah. So yeah, I've checked out your. I had a look at the place. They sell some very nice guitars. They do get their hands on nice guitar collections, but there's been many a time where I've been like, I need to not get too invested in those things because I can't buy guitars off them. So there you go. But it's a cool site. To yeah, absolutely. It's Hallgate Guitar Car Auctions or something like that. Um, yeah, the Christie's Knopfler auction, as I mentioned, is going to be fun. Um, I don't think I'll be buying off that one, but for different reasons. Ergon says, I can't wait until he reads that in about 20 minutes. Hopefully, I got there in 20 minutes. I don't know. We're all used to sounding silly here anyway, says Richard Clark. I mean, that's part of the vibe, so I dig it. Mar says, I agree. For $10,000, the Kirk Hammett guitar should have the same EMG pickups and as many other details as possible. Exactly. Yeah, I'll drink to that 100%. Air Gunsy says, my wishlist amp right now is the Friedman Jake E. Lee, just waiting for it to be in stock in my fave store. Interesting. Yeah, that'd be a cool amp, I'm sure. I don't know anything about it, but I'm sure it's a good one. Rob says 10K is something I just can't justify for a guitar. Though a year ago I couldn't have imagined spending 1,000 total on my LP. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like this is why we're in a golden age in a lot of ways because we have um, what do you call them? Budget guitars that are so much better than budget guitars have ever been. Um, your Harley Bentons, your Jet, your what's the other one? Firefly, I guess. What's the other one people are talking about a lot? The Jet and something else. Um, but there's a lot of really great choices out there in budget guitars now. So in a lot of ways, 1,000 for a guitar is a lot nowadays. But don't tell Epiphone that because they don't think it's that much. But but yeah, it's good. I don't think I'll ever spend 10,000 on a guitar. I maybe at some point in my life I'd spend five. I I would really struggle to spend that. Like I think I've debated purchases around 3,000 before. But I think if you're buying something at that level, you can um kind of be assured that your resale value will usually stay at least at what you paid for it. So those Kirk Hammett guitars, you pay 10,000 for them. Actually, I'm going to backtrack here. I don't think those are going to hold $10,000. I think they'll might go down to about eight, maybe seven, in about a year's time. I don't know. I just don't see what's so special about them, to be quite honest with you. But other guitars, kind of in the price range, I think you're getting your money back on them a lot of the time. Not always, but I think there's a good hit rate on that. Uh, and in moments like now, I mean, as I said earlier, 80s guitars, for example, they're going up and up, which is, I mean, there's no real reason for it, to be quite honest with you. They're not suddenly much better guitars than they had been a year ago, but they're much more expensive. So, so yeah, just you gotta keep that in mind, I think, if you're spending that much. But 1,000's a really good price to be paying for a guitar, and you've got like your dream Les Paul now, so I believe so. So that's worth it. Special one-off purchase kind of thing. Booking says release stolen them from Dave Mustaine. Uh, where's your last comment? What was that all about? See, I'm trying to figure out what that was about. I don't know, but that's just I think you're referencing the Kirk Hammett thing, but which makes it a very smart joke. But good stuff, sir. I think that's what it is. It's been a long week. Glenn says I noticed LTD was has slowed on using EMG pickups in their new guitars. They started using Fishman in almost all of their new models. Good catch, Glenn. I didn't notice that, but yeah, very cool. Mar says the guitarologist or gitologist did a really good analyzation of anal analyzation. You've thrown me with that word. Analysis. I'm going to throw an analysis of the new Gibson Falcons. They're actually not what Gibson wants us to think. Go watch that video. It's crap inside and won't last. I don't know anything about amps, so I couldn't tell if it was crap inside or not. So I'll take your word for it, Marcia. Absolutely. Al says, have to drop out cooking up some tacos for supper. Well, Al, if you do catch this, I'm sure that was a while ago, but have a good evening, sir, and thank you so much for joining us and enjoy your tacos. Eric Gonsley says, RF agreed, I was strictly 500 tier kind of guy until that became 1,000 and then 1,500. Right now, I'll never spend more than 3,000. That's a very good point. Yeah, yeah, I would have been in that camp as well for a long time. And now now the good thing is there's a lot of really good guitars in that sub $1,000 mark now, and I like that wasn't always the case, but now there's some really great stuff. Marcia says the guitarologist has said better off buying an original Falcon. If anyone is considering buying one, please go and watch the video on the channel. It's not the first person I've heard say that, and I didn't watch this video, but I've heard other people saying that on a few different shows. So yeah, because apparently the price is comparable to the new ones, which is odd. But there you go. He's the only person who has analyzed the insides. Interesting, not a single review showed the insides like most amp reviews, and the guitarologist showed us why. Very good, very good. Let's see. Scott Bugfoot says, see ya, Al. And some folks, he's saying see ya to Al, because Al was leaving out. Yeah, so and Scott's not leaving. So I think what's going on there. But yeah, I could see why it looked like he was. Rob F says, sadly, Chord Dave, as long as people purchase Fender, Gibson, and Mesa amps, they do not have any motivation to improve them to last longer than the warranty period. That's a good point. And but they have been shaken up. Like brands like Spark, for example, are innovating their lineups and coming out with all the kind of things that Fender and Gibson and Mesa and whoever need to be aware of. Like the new Spark Live thing, like 4 people can plug into that at a time and different instruments and stuff. Is it great? I don't know. I haven't seen it in use yet, but most people I know who own a Spark Grid or whatever, Positive Grid Spark, like it. I think it's a good thing. So yeah, companies like that coming up, the more things like that come up, I think they're taking a big slice of the market, and a bigger slice than probably the bigger companies would have expected. So yeah, that's what I would think is going to happen. They're going to have to get better because of these other brands coming along and taking their market share, basically. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. Crap, I'm deleting that then. Hopefully I didn't say anything that needed to you needed to delete there, because again, most of the stuff I'm saying is based on opinion and maybe some stuff I talked about. But yeah, don't worry about deleting anything. You're all good, sir. Taryn says, misread it as see y'all. My bad. Save it for later. Save it for later. Indeed. Good stuff, sir. Buglip says, I won't. I lost all my comments. just don't do it as I'm reading. Comment, YouTube. That's all I ask, sir. All right. Let me see. Where are we? Nope. Oh man, that's how far back we are. Jesus. Booklip says, I don't delete any of my weird or incorrect posts. I want them to remain as evidence. I will do it again. And we love you for it, sir. We love you for it. Eric says, DMAC, the bummer is that you almost legally have to buy the cab too. That's a little chunk of change when it all adds up. Yeah, for the amps, it's one of those things, isn't it? So T says, Marcia, the new amp reviews pop up in YouTube. We should all start asking, did you get a chance to look under the hood? I do, but I never get a response. Yeah, they're not good. If they're sponsored or provided the stuff, they're probably not going to. Let's be honest here. YouTubers looking out for the bottom line. And so they're not going to point out the glaringly negative stuff. Not that there is glaringly negative stuff. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. If you showed me a good amp and a bad amp and said which one's which, I wouldn't know. So I got to be honest about that. That would be... So yeah, amp companies, don't sponsor me. I'm not the guy. Guitar companies, I'll pretend to be the guy. Thanks. They only disappear to the chat. Dave will probably still read them as well. I don't. For some reason, it's not letting me read the redacted chats. I, it's all good. It's all good. I trust Scott when he does it that he's got the best interest of the overall chat at heart. So I will probably be able to get back into it later and see. D-Max says, yeah, I hear you in the cab. No combo button. The one from what I see. Booklip says, I think I might buy a right-hand guitar and to have on hand in case righties drop by. There you go. A little bit of a jam session going on. Daniel O'Neill says, can't believe they still haven't got the white 80s Explorer from Gibson. That's a good point, Daniel, because Cesar did say that they'd be out by the end of 2023. But I know that Gibson are lining up like a huge run of releases. So you should see it in the first half, I'm sure, of 2024. We're already through January pretty much. Like this will be the last live stream of January. So yeah, Cesar said it was coming. You got to trust him. So hopefully it's still coming. We'll see. Yeah, let's see. Eric Isaac says, Buglip, statistically more righties than lefties would probably stop by. You would think so. You would think so. Formerly known as T says, 11 o'clock, beer number 2. I'm in training for the online piss up. At 11 o'clock? All right, so I'm 40 minutes behind. There you go. 38 minutes behind. Well, there we go. Yeah, and I think with the 20 minutes, with 40 minutes behind from now, I'm not going to get through all the chat in 20 minutes. So let's try and get through as much as we can. Scott says, I wish there was a traveling international version of NAMM. God, that would be difficult. Yeah. Yeah, I get suspicious when they don't show inside initially. I had a positive reaction because nice to see Gibson amp, but more vids I watched, the more I had reservations. Yeah, I mean, look, if I was buying a new amp, I'd look into it a lot more than I am going to. But yeah, if they're not showing stuff that's integral to a proper guitar review or amp review, then you would have to ask questions. Targan says there was an international NAMM. I heard there was a popular one in Da Nang during the 60s, more fun than the modern ones. Well, you know, there's stuff goes, all kinds of stuff went on in the 60s. The guitarologist video sealed the deal once his dug up photos from the insides from Reddit and analyzed them. Says Marsha, and Rob says, yes, Erica, an amp switcher is a dangerous upgrade. For now, I'm fortunate that I get to play through beginner amps, wet and dry, so I have at least a year plus before I purchase a third expensive amp. Well, who knows? Who knows? Just a shame that's what Gibson put out as the first product at that price. You know, but brand recognition, folks are just going to buy up Gibson amps because they'll be buying Gibson guitars or Epiphone guitars, wherever. There'll probably be a push in the stores to sell them as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Booklip says, well, now I've got Fortunate Son stuck in my head for a while. I mean, it's not the worst tune to have stuck in your head. Glenn Bailey says, we're not tourists, we're strangers with money. Absolutely, Glenn. Those are the best kind of tourists. Some of us are strangers to money, says Buglips. Indeed. Yeah, definitely. At the day before payday we are anyway. Which is always the best day of the month. Ergon says dangerous is good. Is a good word. The stark differences in sound from the same amp is crazy depending on the cab. Confusing but pretty fun. I recommended the KHE if and when you go there. Good recommendation, I'm sure. Either way, one thing for sure, we're strange. Yes, we're proudly strange, says Marsha. Glenn was the one who suggested we're strange. Indeed, indeed. Rock and Rob 2004 says, what's up all? Not sure if anyone saw how Gibson amps are putting the tubes in them. Pricey and design that have an early fail. Just my opinion, not worth it. It seems to be, I think, what people are saying here tonight. Yeah, I hadn't heard it until the live stream. This is great about the live stream is that I learn a lot about, what do you call it? The amp side of things, because I'm not super into that. I don't follow a lot of the news and the releases and stuff. T says, people are strange, they say. I think they wrote a song about us. Yeah, they did. Indeed, it was all about this group that song was about, I'm sure. of it. The Doors probably had that ability, you know. I was just telling everyone to watch the Guitarologist video about the Falcons. I assume you saw it. And Rob F says, "Thank you, Eric Kingsley. I will keep that in mind. My plan for this year is a rebuilt Bassman AB165 in high tone Dior 50. Sounds good, Rob. No, Marsha, I did not see it. I was reading about it though. So there you go. Rob says to T, when you were a stranger, someday someone's just going to put the full lyrics of a song, aren't they, Muddy? Um, 49 T says, apparently didn't invent the bracing either, so it's been done already. I don't know. Marsh says, then go check out the video. He did the only look at the insides. And there you go. I'm not going to promote channels that I don't watch regularly myself. You can say whatever you want, but I'm not going to. Upstairs to the right, music though is a channel I watch regularly. Very good stuff. Mike, great to see you in the chat. Says great show tonight, sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it so much. Nice to catch your show last week, and yeah, I look forward to checking it out tomorrow. But yeah, good to see you, Mike. Eric Isaac says, Rob, I just looked up the Bassman vintage. Nice, that's cool. Rob says, choices based upon my two favorite musicians, Mike Ness and his modded Bassman, and Pete Townsend and his high watts at Leeds. Pete Townsend, awesome. Also live at Leeds. One of the best live albums of all time. Haven't listened to it in a while. Shall do tomorrow, I think. Sounds like a good plan. Graham Bailey says, Leo Fender didn't play guitar. Jim Marshall didn't build amps either. Facts. Are they real facts or true facts? Who knows? Oops, Leeds, not Leeds. It's all Leeds. It's all just Leeds. Eric says, Rob, yep, that all makes sense. Of the two, which will you go for first? Short of winning the lottery, that is. That's the problem. So I was actually thinking about that the other day. I was like, I probably will have to win the lottery to buy all the guitars that I want to buy. Just to buy all the Les Pauls I want to buy. And I'm not even a big Les Paul fan. So there you go. Richard Clark says, I've also heard from more than one person that Gibson amps are going to need fixed early and that the price to fix them won't really be justified. Well, there you go. Surprising, the value to quality ratio with the Gibson product. Formerly known as C, says Dave, like a mini humbucker around the back. You heard it here first. No, why has no one ever done it, T? That's what I want to know. Well, we're doing it now. Me and Gibson working on the greatest signature guitar of all time. Logan says, I heard Ace Frehley's 10,000 watts and looked up the rhythm tab for the chord progression. And I liked the chords so much, I just played something different with them. There you go. Why not? Hey, that's the way. It's the way to do it. It's the way to do it. It's all good. Let me see. Benny says it's the mini hum on the back that really is a secret of the TCD tone. It is. It's what makes it special. Richard Clark says, I'm putting a P90 under the first fret for my gent machine. Man, sounds awesome. I love it. Glenn Bailey says, I've heard Chord Dave plays a mini hum to get that secret tone. I mean, only you guys. Don't tell anyone. Don't put it out on any public forums. It's only for you guys in the live stream to know about. That would be a lifelong keeper once you get it restored. Says Eric, I like the idea of a project like that. Does sound like a cool project. Restoring anything like that would be very fun. Jack Collins says, hello everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm from Louisiana. Great to see you, Jack. Been a while. I think been a few streams, so I hope you've been doing well, my friend. Yeah, great to see you in the chat. Let me see, what else have we got here? By the way, Dave just read my comments about comments 40 minutes later. Yep, that's it. I mean, honestly, I think I'm probably ahead of where I would normally be. So there we go. 40 minutes, not bad for Saturday night, says Glenn. Yeah, absolutely. Well, sir, there you go. 40 minutes, huh? I actually think that's pretty good. Glenn, I finished the beer, so you're welcome. Richard says, not being able to read everything means the show is growing. It's a good thing. We have seen it coming for a while. Indeed, Richard. It's one of those things that has been coming for a while, and hopefully we'll keep getting through as much as we can. But, you know, one of these days it'll become too big, and then it will be a thing of like doing more kind of like what Phil McKnight does, I think, eventually, but not yet. There's a way to go before we get anywhere near Phil McKnight's level of anything. So yeah, not to worry too much. Dave Lewis says, hey Dave, I bought one of these new a few weeks ago. Absolutely love it. Good stuff, sir. Hope you continue to love it. That's great. Let me see what else. I agree, Richard. We are growing, says Glenn. Indeed. Mark says, didn't Dave used to come with topics originally when he started live streaming? I think it still went back and forth anyway as new people entered the chat and people went off topic anyway. Yes, Marsh, I used to come in with topic of the week, and like it would be like, if you could record an album with any guitars, who would it be? Or what are other ones we did? Like, what would your dream super band be? If you were putting together super band, who would it be, live or dead? And yeah, we had some good chats, some good nights. At the very, very start of my live streaming career here on YouTube, I didn't think anyone would want to hang out for 2 hours and talk about guitars and things with me. I mean, there's way more qualified YouTubers to do it who do live streams. So yeah, we started off doing that, and then honestly, it just became too much because the chat was always taken off well before I got here. So yeah, we I don't bring topics anymore because you guys bring them, and they're always there before I get here. So it's all good. But yeah, it's showing that you're an OG, and I appreciate that. Formerly known as T says, it's a good crew on here. It's a great crew on here. I love them. Dave Lewis says that the Epiphone limited edition Tommy Thayer electric blue Les Paul at a glance single cut electric guitar Tommy Thayer Kiss signature model electric blue finish in blue hard case. Yeah, it's a cool guitar. It's one of the more standout guitars, signature guitars of the last few years. It's very different. That's what I like about that. I don't know if I could justify it. I don't know if I'd rock it myself, but there you go. It is a cool guitar. I very like it. I very much like it. Glenn says, Dave, you're reading this. It's Sunday morning. Thank you for a fun time on the stream last night. Sir, it's 12 minutes to Sunday. I'm speeding up. I don't know. I probably skipped a few though. So, you know. Scott says, Dave, are there any of the Thayer guitars left? They looked great. I actually, not kidding, I saw some recently on a website. I think it was musicstore.com had some in stock, and they were discounted. I think they were $5.99. Could be wrong, but I think that's what they were. Mark says, Dave Lewis, just yesterday I was wondering if anyone really buys that flashy guitar. Glad to hear you got one and loved one. I've heard good things about them from people who have bought them. Yeah, I think you've got to be an extra level of cool to actually pull off that guitar. And I haven't got that. So there you go. Formerly known as T says, Marsha, I think I've done more than once, Marsha, soccer, rugby, football, and anything. Sorry about that. It's all good. We can talk about anything. We're all pals here. Target says, okay, I'll bring it back to an easy guitar discussion. Tonewood. Is it real? Discuss. Lol. Moving on. I cannot. I'll get dragged so hard in the comments from people watching later. But yes, it is real. And no, it is not real. Just to cover all the bases. And it hasn't scientifically been proven. And also, yes, it has. Those are my official opinions. Dave Lewis says, Marcia, it was a brilliant price, £520. Yeah. That's it. Like, I'm pretty sure I saw it around 500. 599 I thought I saw it for, but you've obviously got a better deal. Or 599 would have been euros, so that probably works out. Rob says, in my case, I'm just after a different mod. If I want to get an AB165 preamp circuit matched with an AA864. Power section per Lyle at Sonic Sound. It's the best amp Fender never made. There you go. Someday I will remember all this when I'm actually learning about amps. I'll be like, I know, Rob said that in the thing. Tone comes from the paint. Bug lips. If you put skulls on your guitar, it sounds more metal. Facts. I think Glenn told me that at one point. Terry says, bug lips, the only correct answer. There you go. That sounds fair, Dave Lewis. Enjoy rocking it. I wish I could rock the Tommy Thayer guitar. I think it is cool. I just don't think it would fit me. It's one of those, but it's a cool looking guitar for sure. Tone paint sounds legit. I mean, there's probably a business that you can do in selling tone paint. Improve your tone with this by painting your guitar with this paint. There's probably people who will buy it. Some people will buy anything. My tone comes from the dried paint on my fingers, says Rob F. There you go. And Lyle is making an AC30 signature amp if he ever ends up sourcing what he needs. I'm going to jump on that, says Richard Clark. Mark Doolan says, hi all, late to the party, been binging on NAMM vids. Don't blame you, Mark. A lot of people have. Yeah, hopefully you saw some cool stuff. I've said, yeah, I'm probably going to be spending most of my day tomorrow doing that as well. Um, that's most of the plan. Although I'm also enjoying not watching the NAMM stuff, like watching other stuff, because the NAMM stuff does get a bit overwhelming. And I am jealous of the folks who were there. Let's be honest. I did want to go to NAMM this year, but I knew early on I wasn't going to be able to. And now, it actually would have been a lot worse if I had gone. I probably would have found a way to come back without even going to the show, because just how things were going. But it's all good though. We get to plan for next year or summer NAMM. But also, you guys have probably seen it. Gibson are opening Gibson Garage London next month, and it's probably going to require a trip. I mean, just for tax write-off reasons, I can go over to London and check out the Gibson Garage over there. Sounds better and less difficult to get to than Nashville. So I'll probably do that sometime. They're opening it on a weekend that I'm not available, and in March I'm pretty much booked up. I can't do anything in March. I have a lot of stuff going on. So April, it's my birthday in April. So I may head over then. So yeah, put that down in your diary. Dave might go to London some stage. So actually, we might have a little bit of an opportunity to do meetups or something if anyone's in London or wants to come to the Gibson Garage London with me. That'll be fun. Because I don't know if I'm going to be barred. I might be. Big sign on the door. Don't let Chord Dave in. Buglip says, it might technically be true, even if you count electrical shielding paint as part of the tone. Again, I'm not going to say anything because I'll get dragged in the comments. No doubt about it. Can't do it. Rock and Rob says, I wish that when I was trying to buy a guitar, someone would stop me like the auction house did with you. That sounds silly about the cancelling of a transaction. They were stupid. Yeah, they were. But what I will say in their defense, and I genuinely mean this, like it pissed me off at the time, but they were pissed off too because they couldn't sell that guitar again for another 3 months or something. It was a Squier, what are they called? The Master Series. Basically, it's the first Troublemaker Telly, kind of thing, or first Gibson Fender crossover thing. Yeah, it was a Troublemaker Telly style one though. I'm pretty sure it was a Master Series Squier anyway, and I really wanted it because I had literally done a guitar wishlist video on it like a few weeks beforehand, and then it was available. I was like, feckin', I bought, and I was going to pay too much. I had a max price, and I went over that, so to get it, and yeah, so I was pissed off, but yeah, I mean, I could probably go and buy something. They probably didn't mean it, but yeah, the person I spoke to wasn't happy with it. Ben Larson says, I'm a bit excited about Jackson this year. They have cool RRs and in a new Pro Plus series, Korean King Kelly and Scott's 7-string JS22 Dinky now has a competition from a King V and a Rhodes RR. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about Jackson actually, so I'll have to look into them a little bit more. But yeah, I think there's some cool stuff on their list for this year. Rob says to Richard Clark, yes, that amp will be great if Lyle ever gets the time to source the parts and build it. Supposedly Dave Friedman pointed him on where to get the chassis and some other parts. Sounds good. Glenn says Dave's banned out from auction houses in London and airports in Denver. 3 Hellraiser Dave. I'm not banned from the airport in Denver. I just can't really go there because I know I'll bump in. I know Colorado's a big place, but I guarantee you, if I ever go to Colorado, I'll bump into the person who doesn't want to bump into me. So it's just, I just know how the universe likes to fuck around with me sometimes. So there we go. Rock and Rob says, glad to see you're drinking some proper suds tonight. Chord Dave, cheers. I drink Guinness quite often on the stream. I say quite often. Like there's 52 weeks a year, probably stream 46 of them. And I would say maybe 10 of those I'm drinking Guinness, probably. So yeah, but I appreciate it, sir. It is. I mean, it's the earliest I've ever finished a beer in a stream, I think. Dave Lewis says some nice, interesting new Sire Larry Carlton guitars. And the Sire have some really interesting guitars out this year. all kinds of stuff in their lineup. So yeah, it's very interesting indeed. Ryan, or sorry, T says 11:30 beer number 3. Let's raise this one for Ryan. Have a good night's rest, my friend. Hope you feel better soon. Indeed, yes, all the best wishes to Ryan. Fesley seems to be getting a lot of attention lately. Fesley does seem to be getting a lot of attention lately. Yes, that's the other brand I couldn't think of off the top of my head, Richard. So thank you for that. Fesley sounds too like the budget brand Faisley. Yes, yes. Well, they're another budget brand as well. So, but yeah, Fesley is making waves in the industry, I would say. T says new T-shirt idea: 3-chord Dave behind bars, caption saying "Bard." You could wear your slash hat. Hey, who knows? What's merch will arrive in the future. I'll make a note of that, T, for sure. All right, I know for a fact that I've got 3 minutes left, and we're very far back in the chat. So let's just see if I can jump in. That's why I don't mind paying a couple of grand for Gibson Fenders. That money will always be there and may increase if I buy a dozen hardly bent ones. I get nothing to show for it. Yeah, you're when you're buying the budget brand, you're not going to get your money back on it. If you pay 300 quid, you're probably getting 150, 200 back. If you buy a Gibson for 3 grand, you're probably going to get 3 grand for it. It's close enough anyway, 2.5, 3 grand, I would imagine. And in some cases, you'll get more than that. I don't believe the Epiphone signatures are going to keep going up, but you never know. Let's see. Then Dave Lewis says, I got a Spark Go for Christmas. It's a handy little box. I really like that. I think I'm going to pick one up, to be honest with you. I haven't yet, but I definitely like them a lot. Eric says, hardly bent ones. Well, true. I've been trying to coal mine to make room, and those budget guitars just aren't worth enough to even advertise. I'd rather give them away. It does stop me from buying more stuff like that. Marsh says, oh, you saw the new Spark Live. Indeed, I did. That's what it was called. Yeah, Spark Live. I think Anderton shows a guitar and bass player jamming through the Spark Live at NAMM. I saw they had a video at the Spark booth, but I didn't see it yet. I just saw the thumbnail. I believe the newest Spark is 120 watts. It's meant for performances, not one's bedroom or hotel room. Spark Live looks cool, but it's price. I think for the price though, it's very cool for what it is. I think it's a good price for what it is. I mean, Spark did make a cab. They did last year sometime, like around September, I think. I love when Dave realizes how far behind he is, says Benny. It's a highlight every time, and he'll never get to this comment. Haha, sir, I got there. But yes, it is. I think it's hilarious as well. It's kind of a point of pride. Like, it's like my stream is too big for me in a lot of ways. Billy Beer says, I think you need another beer, my dude. Absolutely. I'll start bringing 2 from next week, I promise, Billy, but I just brought 1 with me for tonight. Let me see what else. Yeah, I blast tunes through my Spark 40 and play along with the real Amos sometimes when I'm learning something. Very good idea. Dave Lewis says the Spark Go is a good Bluetooth speaker. Very nice. Rob F says 549 doesn't seem too much for what that new amp is. Indeed, I would agree there. I think that's the one Phil McKnight got. Indeed, he probably did, because everyone loves Phil McKnight. Scott says Batman would be in my super band. Of course. The Rubber Band Man would be in my band. Glenn, come on, man. No, he wouldn't. You know that. I'm searching online for info on the DG335. How come nobody is talking about pre-orders? I only see one article from MSN that says the new guitar up close at NAMM. It wasn't at NAMM. They did a separate event in Los Angeles, Gibson and Epiphone jointly. You'll find a lot of people on Facebook groups are saying, I pre-ordered my DG335 $12.99, $13.99, or I don't know the price yet, but I pre-ordered it today, or I'm on a wait list for it, that sort of thing. Yesterday and today I've seen comments like that, but I don't think there's any officially there's no price, and people who were at the event were told the specs, but they were not told the pricing of the DG335. So $12.99 is great if that ends up being the actual price, or it could be a pre-order price, I don't know. But we'll see in about 5 weeks, I guess. Um, Let me see. DG55 will come out after new ownership takes over around summer 2025. That's what I heard somewhere, someplace. Glenn, stop starting rumors. Uh, in fact, black guitars sound brighter. Someday I'll give in. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to buy a black guitar someday. You guys are all going to be like, but Dave, you said you don't like black guitars. I'm like, I know. Sorry. Dagan says, I tried taking the piss once and got a friend to believe for 5 minutes that brass strap buttons held with tone. You could sell anything to a guitarist. Indeed. Which YouTuber is it has the merch line, guitarists are stupid? I think it's KDH, or he did last year run a merch line. Guitarists are stupid. You can absolutely sell anything to guitarists. It's true. Dave Lewis says, I've watched a few NAMM videos and fast forward through most. KDH has done 2 so far. I'm looking forward to the after NAMM videos to see what people think when they're not on the floor, because it's very influential actually being there. Your opinions and all are kind of will change, I think, once you get back to your hotel or your wherever you're going. Afterwards, let me see where else I see it now. Chord Dave banned from auction house in London and the Gibson garage in London. Look, I probably will get banned from there. I'm probably not allowed in. If they see me, they'll probably be like, sir, you need to leave. Please, Cesar, don't ban me from everything. Faceless LP was apparently a flop, though too many issues. Thanks, Dave, and everyone. Thank you, Dave, says Rob. Thanks for everything, Dave, says Scott. Mark says, by the way, are DG355s only in Pelham Blue right now, or are people reserving other colors? Just a Pelham Blue right now. I do expect the others, as I've said before, there's going to be a full lineup of them. I'm pretty sure, like I'm 99% sure that's going to happen over the next year. Dave goes, Colorado instantly locks eyes with his nemesis, the Noid. I mean, come on. How did you know? Well done, Chord Dave. Thanks, Benny. Appreciate it, sir. Monkey with Uzi is a band's name. It says Daniel Tilleru. Great to see you, Daniel. Hope you're good, my friend. Ibanez have released a Pelham Blue, really thin electric acoustic nylon. I saw that actually. It looks cool. And then lots of people saying goodnight. And all kinds of things. Just make sure there's nobody popping in. Glenn Bailey said, thanks, Dave. Thanks, Glenn. I appreciate it, sir. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been another fun and wonderful 3-Chord Dave live experience. 109 in the bag. Glenn didn't even get a timeout, but that's because I missed his super chat. Sorry again, Glenn. I do love you, my friend. Anyway, guys, thanks once again. It's been super cool hanging out with you. I'll be back with another guitar-related video very soon. But until then, take care.